Welcome to the Trading Psychology and Mindset podcast. My name is Ash Plaisted. I am your host as always. Personally, I'm an active trader myself, as well as being a very curious student of human nature, how our minds work, and understanding just how our brain and mind work was the pivotal moment, or the pivotal shift that changed my trading life. And understanding this is fundamental to every trader breaking through to constant profitability, which is what each and every one of us wants, right? So this podcast is all about answering that question and providing you with real, tangible, and actionable steps you can take away to train the mind you bring to trading into the mind you need for trading success. In this episode, which is titled The Supermarket Mentality and Why Applying George Costanza's Opposite Theory Can Save Your Trading. I hope that's got your curiosity piqued. Let's head over and get started. So much of our normal humanness, right? The way we think, the way we react, we take for granted. And for the most part, that is acceptable. That has gotten us where we are in life. After all, it's helped us survive, it's helped us evolve, and it's helped human beings essentially dominate the planet. So, it's a good thing. Then we come to trading, where it all gets turned upside down. Now, if only there was a rule book, right, that you could get your hands on before you started your trading journey that clearly explains all of this and directs you onto the right path. Now, that is my ambition with this podcast and my purpose with teaching and coaching and mentoring traders, and particularly in this article, I want to scratch much deeper into that subject. Now, there is one particular aspect of human nature I want to explore further here and provide you with some tangible steps to mitigate its threat to your trading. Now, the best place I think I can start with this discussion is around a little story. This is a personal story from my past. So I want to start with my epiphany, right? That pivotal life-changing time. So one day, many years ago, during my struggle years in the trading game, I walked into the local supermarket with my wife, my partner, as I've done so many times before and countless times since. Now, while wandering about the aisles looking for bargains, which my wife is very, very good at, we came across the toiletry section. My wife became quite animated, which she did often, and if I'm honest with you, a little bit excited. Now, she grabbed my attention and pointing at the toilet paper, exclaimed, "Look, honey, the toilet paper is half price." Now, as you can imagine, her energy was not matched by mine. Right? I casually remarked, "That's great, sweetheart. You should buy twice as much as normal," which of course she did. Now, this led to my breakthrough moment. And the thought occurred to me here as we continued our bargain hunting journey, wandering around the aisles of the supermarket as my mind was wandering. Why is it that we humans are so consumed with buying more when things represent a reduction to what we perceive as normal value? Now, there's nothing revelatory there, you're probably thinking, but it's the next thought that changed my life. So I thought to myself, I wonder whether this normal thinking could be connected to my trading struggles. Now, at this time, I'd been trading for 3 or 4 years, breaking even at best, making money, giving it back, making money, giving it back, trying different systems, accumulating a lot of knowledge. That probably resonates with a lot of you, right? But I hadn't broken through. No way. I was still running a business and needed other income. I just wasn't making trading work. So I thought to myself, okay, how do I go forward with doing something different to this normal thinking, this bargain hunting thinking? So at this time, the TV show Seinfeld had, a few years earlier, finished its run. This is in the early 2000s. So I just decided to deploy the George Costanza Theory. Right now, anybody that's a Seinfeld fan, one of the great TV shows, this is the one where George Costanza was really struggling big time to meet women. And he came up with a theory that went along the lines as follows. If every instinct I have is wrong, Jerry, then surely the opposite must be true. So, if you remember the episode, he was in the cafe and he walked up to a woman and said, "Hello, my name is George. I'm bald and I live with my parents." So, which is the opposite of what he would normally say. And lo and behold, it worked. So it's a funny little story, but this is where I went. I decided, okay, if the way I'm thinking about trading, normal thinking, isn't working, surely the opposite could be true. So in my trading world, I resolved to, instead of looking to hang on to losing trades in the hope they would turn around, I resolved to crystallize my loss. And instead of looking to take my profits early, take money off the table, I resolved to add to my winning position. Now, this proved to be the epiphany, the pivotal moment in my trading journey. So let me take this forward a bit further and explain the supermarket mentality further. Now, it's human nature to seek a bargain, essentially to want more of something when it's cheaper than it was before. It represents a bargain to us. It also is human nature to not want to pay more for something than we might have otherwise done. So we tend to avoid buying things when we see that something has gone up in price. Now, again, this represents sound logical reasoning, right? Now, let's take this sound logical reasoning, this supermarket mentality, across to the trading environment and see how it and why it creates so much havoc. Now, the big problem, right, is that you are training your mind that it is perfectly okay to buy things that are falling in price. So in trading, the market was higher than it is now. So when we first took a long position, the market was higher than it is now. Therefore, if the prices come down, it must be better value because it's fallen in price. Traders, can you see the problem with this thinking pattern? Now, this thinking pattern works perfectly in a supermarket. Toilet paper has a practical use. Soap has a practical use. So does milk and a multitude of other things in a supermarket. So when you are provided with an opportunity to purchase these things with, let's say, a 50% discount, of course you should do it. However, to believe that the similar mindset applies to the financial markets and believing that the financial markets offer discounts akin to what you're seeing in a supermarket is ludicrous, right? The markets are not a supermarket with special offers. So we get into a trade that goes into profit and we immediately get the sense of fear of losing our gains. This is what happens. So we start thinking about taking some or all of our profits in case the market moves against us and takes away the profit. And the same thinking applies to a losing position. So instead of getting out quick, we instead hope the market will turn around and remove our loss, remove our pain before we have to crystallize it. Now, you've probably all heard the famous saying in speculation that people are fearful when they should be hopeful and hopeful when they should be fearful. I think Warren Buffett has said something similar, and it's a very popular truism in trading. This is one of those slightly cliched, I would call them a desk calendar quotes that we all see and we tend to ignore. And I wonder why, right? It is actually grounded in absolute truth and properly understood and acted upon will guide you in the right direction. Now, my thinking is that we have all developed a very strong sense of what we believe to be true, our own personal worldview, if you like. All of us have a slightly different and unique worldview. Now, this worldview will cause us to automatically reflex in a way that corresponds with our ingrained thinking patterns. So under pressure, under stress, particularly in the markets, our worldview will cause us to reflex in a way that corresponds with that ingrained worldview. So if we have a deeply held belief in what represents a bargain, that supermarket mentality, then it makes complete sense that this overlaps into trading, irrespective of our surface rational awareness of the nature of the markets. I mean, we all know the markets are uncertain and it's a probability game, but it's only under the heat of the moment that our deep-seated bargain hunting supermarket mentality gets revealed. That's what happens to so many traders. Their deeply held reflexive belief overwhelms rational awareness and rational understanding. Now, this is precisely what mindset reflexology, the programs I created, was designed to fix. They were designed to help traders install a new set of reflexive behaviors that are suitable to trading success. So I've got a question. Why do you think it is that 5% of traders make all the money? Why do you think that is? Ask yourself. These expert professional traders know all about this ingrained human thinking pattern, and they have been trained accordingly. It's very rare that a trader survives long enough to work all of this out on their own, to train themselves and to come out the other side. Nearly every time they've sought external help around this psychology, this mindset, this reflexive behavior, and they've trained themselves just as you would train yourself physically for any event. They have trained their minds. So then they go about setting their traps to grab money from unsuspecting amateurs. Essentially, you, quite possibly. They are grabbing your money. So with the Costanza Theory, the opposite theory, I coined my own version of this, my own opposite thinking pattern for this new belief system. So I would call it, people should be hopeful about winning positions and add to them, and they should be fearful of losing positions and get out of them. Now, you may be listening to me say that and go, well, Ash, that is obvious. And yet, the vast majority of traders, 95%, deeply held, they believe the opposite. When they get in a winning position, they're fearful about losing it. When they get in a losing position, they're hopeful about it turning around. Can you see that? So what I'm saying is, you should write this statement down. Put it on your fridge. Put it on your trading whiteboard. Be hopeful about winning positions and add to them. And you should be fearful about losing positions and get out of them. In the famous trader movie called Flawed, you should check it out. It's on YouTube. One of the greatest pit traders of all time, Greg Reber, said, "I still don't get it. Traders should add to winning positions. Add to them when the market's going in your favor. Don't be looking to get out. Look to chip up. Look to add to your position and let it run." So take away that new belief system from this podcast, please. Now, what I am saying here is that to succeed at trading, you must move in the opposite direction of your normal human belief. This is the opposite theory. This is the Costanza theory. You should be moving in the opposite direction of your normal human bargain hunting supermarket mentality. It's probably easy to intellectually accept that. It's really, really hard to do, which is why you should always reach out and get help to do this. So you should invert your hopeful, fearful mindset 180 degrees. Just flip it completely upside down. So when a trade goes in your favor, be hopeful that it's going to go further and add to your position according to your plan. When it goes against you, don't be hopeful, be fearful. Get out. Don't worry about if the market's going to turn around. Get out. Okay? So I encourage you to take the next step into your own trading success story, into the ultimate journey into mental control and mental fitness. And remember this, traders, when you control your mind, you control your life. And when you control your mind, you control your trading success. So to quickly summarize this discussion, it's really, really easy to be swayed by the supermarket mentality when we are trading. When we go into the supermarket, we are drawn to the special offers. So next time you go shopping, I want you to be consciously aware of this tendency and check your shopping bag for confirmation. The change process is always the same. Awareness precedes understanding, and understanding is needed for resolution of the problem. The supermarket mentality must be rebuilt to win at trading. Thank you for listening. Thank you for my beginner traders out there, my experienced traders out there for joining me on this episode. I truly hope you found in equal measure insight, learning, and actionable advice you can take away into your own life and into your trading. I'll see you on the next episode of the Trading Psychology and Mindset podcast.